What are the potential flashpoints for the coming election?
I wouldn't be able to tell you what specific flashpoints are going to come up or if any are going to come up. But in general, the issues would be on the side of the government, how have we performed on the issues that matter to people? I think those are issues that impact on people's lives. Have their lives improved? Have there been fairness in the way economic progress has been the benefits of economic progress been distributed? How have the broad section of society benefited? I think those are the issues for any government that is going into elections. For the opposition, of course, will be to try and see which are the areas where they can make people think that the government has not performed so well. This is in general how it works.
There will always be new areas coming up that need to be addressed. Do you foresee some of these that perhaps the party would be addressing in terms of how to raise the level of lives in Singapore?
The basics remain the same. We are essentially a nation that survives by our wits. We don't have resources. We have to make ourselves relevant in the world. How do you make yourself relevant? Economic competition internationally is increasing. Your status as an air hub and a seaport and international center for finance, all of these are constantly under threat. You have an aging population. You want to make sure that your population has a good standard of living, good jobs, good housing, and a good quality of life. How do you ensure that? I mean, it comes back to those basics. You lose sight of those basics, you are in trouble. Now, challenges vary, and they multiply regional, international challenges, but they all relate to these issues.
Does the aging population factor, how much have thought has been put into that affecting community and where it's going to go from there on?
Huge amount of thought on the part of the government, but I don't think this is something that the people have factored in or thought about a great deal. Because today, as you look around, everything seems fine. But our demographics are going very badly against us, and it's a serious challenge. Our TFR is now at just above 1, well below 2. You have a population, because our healthcare is good and lives here, medical system is good. People live over a long period of time, which is good. And but what that means is, as I said earlier, 900,000 people are going to cross the age of 65 within the next 15 years. That's 40% of our population. It's one of the fastest, I think, either the fastest or second fastest aging society in the world. So 40% of your population above 65. Today you have nearly 6 persons working, paying taxes to support one aged person. And I say paying taxes, actually only about 33-34% of Singaporeans pay income tax. Nearly 65% of Singaporeans don't pay any personal income tax. And even those who pay income tax, by and large, it's 10-15%, as opposed to, say, you take a country like Australia with a huge amount of resources, you are looking at a much higher tax rate from the time you start working. So, given that, what would society look like in 15 years? What are your medical costs going to be like? Where are you going to get your doctors? Where are you going to get your nurses from? And there are many levels of care that's needed, in the hospital, but step-down care, and people want to age in home. You need people to check in on them. An entire different approach needs to be developed. Government is very actively doing all of that, but we need to bring the people into it, and people need to internalize it. You can look around, all our parents, for many of us, are around and they are aging, and they are going to need more and more help. We ourselves are aging, all those of us above 55. In 15 years, we'll be 70. And as it is, you will see that once you cross 55, once you cross 60, you are seeing the doctor more often. Your knees, your elbows, other issues. So there are significant challenges. Your economic vibrancy would be impacted because less and less people are going into the workforce. And at the same time, regional competition, international competition is heating up. Tremendous challenges.
Will that affect us? The fact that we've got this very aggressive global economy bearing down on us and we are an aging population? Will our reflexes be slower?
This is where I think leadership is going to be vital. Long-term policy making is going to be vital, and at the same time, it's going to be vital to bring the population together, because we will face a series of choices. And we faced severe challenges in the past. We overcame them by the population and the leadership working together. The next 15 years will bring tremendous challenges. You have millions of engineers coming out of India and China. What is it that we can do that they cannot do? Cheaper, faster, better. Today, with the cost of shale oil being so low, and with robots being able to do the work of people, manufacturing costs in America have gone down significantly. You have Vietnam coming up strongly as a manufacturing base. Around the region, other countries are springing up. So you have India, China, you have other countries, and you have developed economies like the US also posing a significant challenge. Nobody owes us a living, so on what basis do we survive? How do we make ourselves relevant? Why should people invest here? Why should we continue to be able to generate income for our people? These are the challenges. And unfortunately today, no one is really discussing these issues.
At which point should we start looking at them?
Well, we are looking at them. And we are looking at it, and we are saying, what is it that we can do? What is it that we should do? We're putting in plans. But I think it's difficult to bring across these issues to the population as a whole, but we've got to try.
Okay.